Not everything you make can be fabulous and fancy. Sometimes you need to make something a little more functional, like a modernized corset cover so you can actually history bound in the heat of the summer. Listen, it may sound silly, but once you've worn that cute little kirtle top you made to the grocery store thinking you looked really good, only to realize that the people that were staring at you were not staring because you looked super cute, but were staring because the eyelets on the center front had stretched and they could see right through them. You'd want one too. Corset covers were worn throughout the 19th century and into the 20th. Regular corset covers are great for the higher necklines of the Victorian and Edwardian eras, but clothes with lower necklines, not so much. So we need to modernize their design for a little more flexibility. This design is a quick, easy project. You don't need a pattern, and it's great for stash busting all of those weird squares of linen you have left over from your historical makes. You only need 2 simple measurements for this thing. First, measure from your center front out over the largest part of your chest, around to your center back to find the width. Then measure from where you want the corset cover to start. For me, that's the point where my bra strap begins, down over the fullest point of your chest, down to where you want the corset cover to end. For me, that's my natural waist. That's your length. Okay, you might not be prepared for how difficult this is about to get. Are you ready? Brace yourself. We're gonna take those 2 measurements and draw a rectangle. Yep, that's it. Now you can add as little or as much ease to this as you want. I'm giving myself an extra 2 inches in width on each panel and an extra 2 inches in length to make it kind of blousey and more chemise-like. This will give me a lot of flexibility in how I adjust things when I wear them underneath my clothes. Regardless of how much ease you use, make sure to add seam allowances on all edges, plus an extra 1.25 inches on the bottom to make a drawstring channel. You'll want to cut out 2 of these on either grain. Doesn't matter. The great thing about this being short and sleeveless is that it can be used for all sorts of purposes. Underneath your lighter weight linens to cover your modern undergarments, as a chemise layer to protect you from that eyelet problem, under modern corsets or cosplay corsets when you don't want to wear something long sleeved because it's really hot and gross outside, or even as a modern day top. If you're interested in making something like this, I've drawn up a little schematic that is now available for free on my Ko-fi page for anybody who would like to download it. I've linked to it down below. I've based the design for this corset cover off of my Roman stola, which is one of my problem outfits. So the goal here is to test the neckline and make sure it's hidden beneath it, since it's the lowest one of all of my history bounding outfits. Especially in the back, but I don't know how to measure that on myself. This is the top of my bra band, so I'll measure up from here instead of down. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can adjust it later. Here's my center front mark. You'll want to pin it down below that and sew your seam, then edge finish the rest of the way up. This is a lot like putting together an 18th century petticoat. I repeated for the back seam, though I had to make a little adjustment because it was too low. These got cut off the sleeves of one of my chemises, not sure which, but I'll use it for the straps because one side is already hemmed. Stash and a lazy busting, just the way I like my projects. I'm making no attempt to measure here, just gonna start with the length of the undone sleeve reject. I am pulling on grain because this is linen and it's squidgy. All in one go. That's so satisfying. You don't have to completely hand stitch this, but mine will be. Even hand sewn, this isn't much more than a weekend project, and if you've got a lot of downtime, you could probably knock it out in a couple of hours. Less than that if you're doing it on the machine. Then it was time to pin and test the straps. Looks good except for this weird puckering on the back. The excess fabric under the arms will be gathered using a drawstring at the neckline, so let's make a channel for that. When adding the strap to the back, pin it below the drawstring channel. We'll also use another drawstring to gather at the waist. This will give us flexibility under our various size waistlines. Before we sew the channel together, we need to make an exit point for the drawstring at the center front. 2 eyelet holes spaced 1/2 inch from the center line. Time for violence! Okay, so the top drawstring's a little different, so we can have that low, pretty deep V in the back. We'll use 2 pieces of 1/8 of an inch cotton tape and secure it to the edge of the corset cover inside of the channel. This way we can distribute the extra width of the fabric evenly without the tape having to be joined in the center back. The goal here is to make it so that the bottom drawstring is interchangeable in case you want to change it to match your outfits, in case you want to wear this as an actual top. Okay, looking pretty good. This is doing something weird, but I think it's because I sewed it up the way I did, so I'm gonna fix that. But otherwise, all we gotta do is put a little button here so that I can take these straps off if I need to, and add a little decoration. I love an instant gratification project. Okay, the trick here is to make sure that the trim stays pinned above your drawstring so your stitches don't accidentally catch it. Unless you're really good, this is one step I would recommend doing by hand instead of on the machine, or you can sew it on before you fold it over to make the channel. Here's the finished lace edge, which I think makes it just that much more pretty. I only sewed it on one side of the strap and the center front. I intend to pretty much only wear this underneath my clothing as a chemise corset cover hybrid. My main goal is for it to be quick to make and comfortable to wear, not necessarily that it be super cute and flattering, so that I can wear it on its own, although I may do in certain situations, so I want to have the option available. If you wanted it to be a little bit more flattering, you could cut 4 smaller rectangles instead of 2 and grade down the sides from the base of the arm side to the waist to make it less sack-like. You could also add a couple of bust darts in the center front to give it a little more shaping if you'd like. Additionally, if you give it less ease in the length, it won't blouse out so much, especially in the center front. It's a little bit more work, a little bit more hand sewing, but it will get you a much smoother, less fluffy silhouette, let's say. I finished this a few months ago and it's become a wardrobe staple. Again, it's a little baggy on me to be flattering on its own, but it's still doing the job that it's meant to do. And that's what matters. It's especially great for hiding all of my modern undergarments underneath my chitons and stolas, which are all made from handkerchief linen. I do also intend to use this as my Victorian corset cover until later this year when I have time to make a real historically accurate one when I'm working on my lobster bustle gown. If you enjoyed this quick little video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to watch another quick, easy project, you can check out this one here on the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I love y'all, and I'll catch you in my next video.